Can you just talk about how Blake played and the attitude he's bringing to that line?
Sure. Really proud of him and how he's coming and stepped up. And sometimes it's with all three of those guys. You forget the redshirt freshmen sometimes, which is a good thing. It's a good thing but sometimes as coach you have to remind yourself, all right, hey, oh shoot, he hasn't seen that before. He hasn't played 4 years of football where he's seen that look before or knows how to adjust to that on the fly. But proud of him and how he went in and wasn't perfect obviously, but he's out there, he's fighting, and he's getting better every week.
Obviously, it took injuries to get there, but now that you have 3 redshirt freshmen in the starting line, I mean, how exciting is that for you that they get these reps in November football, and then what it means for the future?
Sure. Obviously, you never want to have injuries, and probably wouldn't have gone into the season thinking this would be our 5th or whatever it is, starting combination in 8 games. It's obviously not what you hope for, but it's what you have to prepare for, and it's something that Coach Moore has always maintained, that you got to have 10 guys ready, and I think we've started 8 or 9 of them. So it shows the depth we have in our room, and it's a credit to those young guys like Blake, who even when he was not the starter, was still preparing as if he was, and was just kind of waiting for his opportunity, whether that came from injury or whether that came from beating someone out and earning a job. So it's a credit to those guys and the ownership they've taken.
Just wondering if you could evaluate the run blocking versus the pass pro through 8 games. What do you like? Where do you think there's room for growth?
I think the biggest thing in both is just consistency. That's the thing that we challenge our guys with. You can't have the you're not going to win every single block. No lineman ever does, but it can't be the really, really good and then the really, really bad. And you look at the games that we have struggled as an offense and struggled as an offensive line. It's because there's been the home runs, but then the negative plays. Whereas if you can, have that general upward trajectory, you're gonna like where you're at the end of the game. I think that was Michigan State. Outside of the issue with the snap and 2 or 3 plays, we didn't have the massive TFLs. We're just the unblocked guy and in the hole.